I never would have thought I'd be saying this, but I think going on a GLP-1 was the best thing I did for myself in 2025. Okay, so I am about 4 months in. I started tirzepatide in the beginning of September. It is currently, I don't know, the in-between time between Christmas and New Year's, the end of December. Over on Instagram, I put up a question box and said that I would make a longer video answering all of your questions, but let me just give you like a super quick recap in case you're new here. Hello. My name is Carly. I'm 46 years old. Just a little bit of background. I do have a chronic health condition. I have hypothyroidism. That is not new. I was diagnosed over 30 years ago. I am on medication for that. But over the last few years, I also went through perimenopause, which is done now. And I started to experience some other health issues, and we just couldn't quite pinpoint what was going on. I experienced pretty severe inflammation, which was monitored through blood work. We looked at my CRP levels for over 2 years, and they remained very, very high despite being active. I ran a full marathon. I run half marathons regularly. Nothing was changing that inflammation. I had tried an anti-inflammatory diet. Nothing worked. So I had my thyroid condition, severe inflammation. I was starting to have joint pain to the point where they were actually testing me for like rheumatoid issues, which the test showed negative, so that didn't really make any sense. And I was having extreme fatigue to the point where I was drinking like 7-8 cups of coffee a day and still tired and still needed to take a nap. So clearly something was going on. My general practitioner and I did tons of blood work, tons of talking, tons of research. And one of her suggestions was for me to try a GLP-1. So we went through the insurance process. Unfortunately, it was not covered by my insurance. So here we are. In doing my own research, I found Mochi Health, which is where I access my medication. So I meet with a virtual provider there as often as I'd like. My membership fee that I pay, which is $79 a month, covers meetings with that virtual provider and a nutritionist, both of who I meet with regularly just to talk about how things are going. And hey, I'm paying for it, so why not, right? Then in addition to that, I pay $199 a month for tirzepatide, which comes in an insulated little bag in the mail once a month. My general practitioner through my insurance and my practitioner through Mochi Health and my nutritionist and I, we all talk together. They can all have access to the blood work that I do, any of that kind of stuff, so we can look at like dosage, etc. I think I have my computer right here with all of your questions that came through Instagram. There are some questions about dosage, so we'll get into that. But that is sort of the general, here we are. It has been 4 months. I have not missed a dose despite traveling, etc. I have not had like very extreme side effects, a little nausea here and there, but honestly, other than that, nothing. So I am hoping that these questions help in case you are considering starting this for the new year or whatever it is. And I'm hoping it gives a little bit more information about trying this medication for something that wasn't necessarily weight loss focused, because it has been a really good experience for me. Okay. Tell me you're 46 without telling me. Let me pull up some of the questions for you. Ready? Here we go. If it is not too personal, can you discuss weight loss? When did you notice the most weight loss? Okay, so there's a lot of weight loss questions. Yes. Okay, let's talk about it. So yes, I have lost weight. I have lost between 25 and 30 pounds in the last 4 months. As someone that has a thyroid condition, which affects your metabolism, and who is experiencing severe inflammation, this is a pretty wild amount to discuss, but it wasn't my main goal. I do believe that a part of that was inflammation. And I think a part of it was probably some type of insulin resistance. Like things just were not working correctly. I think it's important to say my eating habits have not changed severely. Neither has my activity level. I already was very active, working out 5 days a week, training for races. That has completely not changed. And maybe I eat a little less on the day that I actually do an injection, but otherwise it's pretty similar. So clearly this medication is sort of fixing whatever was not working within my system. That being said, I did lose the most amount the first like month, it was pretty rapid, and that was the inflammation. And then it's been very, very steady and just like slow, a pound-ish every week. And in talking to my Mochi provider and my general practitioner and my nutritionist, we're making sure that I'm staying at like a really good nutrition level. This will probably just level out as my body levels out and my thyroid is doing what it's supposed to do, and whatever insulin resistance I had is kind of going away. There's going to be a point where it just stops. I think it's also important to say that the weight I'm at now is the weight that I was at most of my adult life before I started having these health issues. And my body feels good. Like I feel good. I think that's okay. Next question. What blood work confirmed the inflammation? So I did this blood work with my general practitioner because I have to do blood work anyways for my thyroid and other things. It was your CRP levels. That is something that I highly suggest you talking to your doctor about. That's what we looked at. I do not know if that's what you will look at. I am clearly not a doctor, but that is what we looked at and are continuing to monitor. Have you met with your nutritionist yet, and was it helpful? Yes, multiple times. Yes, it was helpful. I think I knew the basics, but to hear my nutritionist remind me about things like water and what protein levels are actually realistic for my age, my activity level, etc., it's been great. Just little tweaks, little things that helped. And I have to be honest, she told me when we started that I should be eating more. I was not eating enough. So there we go. How often are the injections? Daily, weekly. So this is a once a week injection for me. I always do the injection on Monday mornings. It is the same. You're going to do it once a week. That is it. And it kind of like loads into your system and starts to go down again. I had heard somebody else say, because they were also having joint pain issues, that they could tell when it was like the day before an injection day because you start to feel them come back a little bit. That is 100% correct. A lot of the joint pain I had was in my back and my hips. And since I do my shot on Monday mornings, on like Sunday nights, I can kind of feel it coming back again, which is like very interesting. Have you ever had injection site reactions? Not at all. I will say I am like very particular about cleaning everything with the alcohol wipes that come with the medication. So like wherever I'm injecting, my fingers, the top of the bottle, all of it, the top of the vial. I probably am a little hardcore about it, but I clean everything very carefully, wash my hands thoroughly first, and I have not had any issues with injection sites at all. Nothing. Did you have to do lab work before? And if so, how did you do that without paying a ton? Okay, so you have some options. You can use your regular insurance to get lab work if that is covered. Mochi also can order lab work for you and then send it to a local lab. For me, because of my other chronic health issues, the labs are covered and I have to do them anyways. So I just tell my general practitioner, they put the lab order in, and then I can go ahead and share those lab results with Mochi Health. That has worked for me. Highly recommend asking in case that's an option. I switched to Mochi from another provider. I'm so much happier with them and saving money. Okay, not a question, but yay, right? I have to say I did a lot of research in terms of like pricing and service, and this has been such an amazing experience. I literally have nothing but good things to say. That's why I'm making this video. Is the price of $199 plus membership for the highest dose of tirzepatide? Yes. So it does not change based on your dosage. They do have a new microdosing option. So if that is what you want, that one's a little less, but otherwise it's going to be that $199 a month plus the membership fee. What is your current injection dose? Wondering what it looks like long term. Okay, so this was a question that I had in terms of like, is this a forever thing? And at this point, the same as I will be taking my thyroid medication, this is probably a long-term thing for me. I think it depends on why you are taking the medication. So I started at the like on-ramping dose. When you start one of these medications, you start at like almost like a half dose to get your body used to it. And after about 4 weeks, you will normally increase. I have not increased again. So I believe it's 425 milligrams. I would have to look, but it's just the very first increase. We have not increased since. As of now, I am still experiencing all of the positive results that I wanted. It's not like my joint pain is coming back. Nothing is happening. So there's really no reason to increase the medication. I do not know if that will change, but as of now, we haven't increased again. And the side effects are minimal because my body's pretty much completely adjusted. Okay, I think that was most of the questions. I tried to kind of group similar ones together so this didn't go on and on and on. I hope this was helpful. If you have other questions, please leave them in the comments and I will come back and answer them. I left my discount code there as well in case this is something that serves you. And yeah, all right. I hope that your new year starts happy and healthy and that this was a support to you.